الصفات رسول إمام بنور الصفات.
It's 10:49. It's a wonderful Tuesday. Can you believe it? First day back at school for 2026. How's that year? Is it rolling off your tongue as yet? Join us live on our screens. We're talking about a very important topic. So we're live on Facebook and YouTube. We're talking about more than your matric mark. So it's failure, pressure, and the fight for youth resilience. Now, for many young South Africans, Matric Results Week is not just about marks on a page. It's about dreams, expectations, family pressure, and the fear of disappointing those who believed in them. While some celebrate, others sit in silence, replaying every exam, every question, and every what if. For these learners, the word failure can feel overwhelming, as though one set of results has the power to define the entire future. But the truth is, a matric mark is not a life sentence, it is a moment. And how young people are supported in this moment can actually shape their resilience, their confidence, and mental well-being for years to come. So inshallah, let's take heed, let's take some notes. Joining us for this important topic, we're joined now on our screens and on the airwaves, Radio Al-Ansar International, is Dr. Daphne Mawila, who is a lecturer and educational psychologist at the University of Johannesburg. Good morning, Doctor, and we welcome you to Urban Women on Radio Al-Ansar.
Good morning, and good morning to the viewers. Thank you so much for inviting me to be part of this worthwhile and important discussion.
Absolutely. We thank you for your time as well. You look so lovely, bright and radiant, just as the sun is out and very hot here in Durban. How is it in Johannesburg?
I'm actually in a conference in Western Cape in Stellenbosch. So immediately after this interview, I'm going to present. It is hot. It is hot.
Well, you're a busy woman. Yeah, and we thank you for your time and all the best with your presentation. Diving into it, and we don't want to take too much of your time. Now, for many young people, matric results feel like a final judgment on their self-worth. Why does the single exam carry such an emotional and psychological weight?
Thank you so much for that question. I'm thinking these learners have been in school for approximately about 13 years when they started the first grade. So most of them have been working towards getting to the last grade and getting the additional senior certificate. So it holds that rite of passage for most of them. So we see a lot of our learners, they want to proceed and do continue their education, go to universities, go to TVET. Some wants to start jobs, which only requires additional senior certificate. So it does feel like if I don't achieve this certificate, it could be the end of the world. And some of the reason why they feel that way is societal expectations. We place so much value on the matric certificate. And in most cases, our youth starts to identify themselves as a failure instead of just realizing I'm still myself. Passing or failing is a matter of the performance. It's how I have shown how I'm competent in what I was taught. It's not actually that it changes my life. It's not the end of the world. So it's for most of them, it's a way of going back and revisiting what they didn't master and learn and proceed from there. So it's not a life sentence. And I would like to urge those who specifically didn't do well. It's okay. Some people have to do things a couple of times before they master it. The most important thing is to get to a final destination. It's not about how quickly you do it. So be patient with yourself, love yourself.
So important. Be patient with yourself, love yourself, and don't let that define you, because it's just a matter of how you took that piece of knowledge and how you applied it in that context. Now, what happens psychologically when a young person believes that they failed at life, so to say, because of their matric results?
So in most cases, they are at a risk of having an identity damage. And that is because of all the messages they are hearing. Some people will be saying, I'm going overseas to pursue my studies. Some people will be saying, I'm going to University of Johannesburg, I'm going to Stellenbosch. And everywhere whether it's social media or they're speaking to people in their communities, it's the talk of the week. So it does, get to a stage where they start to reflect on themselves and start saying, "I'm not worthy enough. I'm a disappointed. I'm not a disappointment. I'm not good enough." And those are some of the things that are happening. And as a community in South Africa, we need to be cognizant of that. That there's that
Mm.
one child who's sitting at home, withdrawal, doesn't want to talk to anyone, possibly contemplating also taking their own lives because of everything that's going around.
Mhm.
And they had goals as well. They had expectations, which at this moment they're not able to, embark on those journeys that they wanted to take. So we need to be cognizant. We need to offer support and be there for them, because they may end up taking risks, doing things that is not good for their well-being, harming themselves as well. And we're seeing a lot of trends in South Africa when people are going through adversity in life, they start drinking. Some start, having unprotected sex. Drugs is used, especially in our streets. So we need to be cognizant of what could be the repercussions of people who are not feeling well because of the matric outcome.
That is so true. I mean, these are individuals that also had goals, hopes, expectations of life. And then here's this paper coming through, not exactly what they hoped for. And then they do resort to other ways in order to numb that and to kind of snap out of what they're going through due to their emotions. How do societal expectations, and you have touched on that, and we do know a lot comes from society, but societal expectations, family pressure, and social media comparisons intensify feelings of shame and inadequacy after results are released.
Mm. Unfortunately, we live in a world where people tend to compete with each other. We in our families, even with siblings, we find that parents start to compare one against the other, and really extended families as well, in schools as well, and unfortunately, when parents and the community start to compare, we bring pressure on our own children, we bring pressure on the learners in schools. So that's one of the aspect that is very concerning. And also we forget that people are unique, people are different. We have limitations, we have abilities as well. So it's very important that we do not equate metric as the main success in life. There are other successes that we can reach without actually having metric. There are so many people who are doing amazing and work that is fulfilling emotionally, and they do not have a metric. So
100%.
not everyone is born into be academic. We need
Mm.
to know our limitations as human beings. Some people are brilliant in singing. Some
Yeah,
people are brilliant in, plumbing. Some can do nails, and they're making a worthwhile living, meaningful living. So it's
very.
very important that we are self-aware of who we are, if we are learners, what we're able to do, and we do not compare ourselves. But also as
Mm.
parents, we need to be realistic. If one of my child was able to get to a degree, it doesn't necessarily mean that all of them will be able to reach that far. Some of them may not be, gifted in that way. They will have different gifts. So we also need to teach communities about multiple intelligences, because intelligence is not just, going into an exam, doing well, going into university. They are amazing, amazing people. I mean, even in your field, you're doing amazing work. That's a gift. I don't believe it's just, you going to school and study, but it's something that it's inside you. It's something that you were born to do. So we also
Absolutely.
need to realize that we have different abilities as human beings. So social media will always be there.
Mm.
And also we need to be very critical in terms of what we listen to, what we watch on social media, because we're having so much influences that impact our own neural functioning, our own, and we compare ourselves. And I also want to say, an image that you see as perfect on social media, it's just for that specific moment, that picture was taken or a video was taken. We don't know what
Well,
happened before that video was taken. We don't know what's going to happen after that picture was taken. So we should always question what we are seeing in social media, because it may not necessarily be how it looks, right?
that is so
They
true
always
because I mean, selfies all do this.
Yes.
Like a million selfies to get one right one to post, right? And it's so good. It is so time consuming, shall I say. But that's a very valid point that you raised. It's so important. Don't take the snippet of the one thing you're seeing and give the narrative where you're comparing yourself. And the major thing that you've really touched on, or shall I say, the aspect that we dive into is the comparison. So don't compare. And as you said, there are some people that are good in singing, some in nails, and that's the truth that I do the inner work. Okay, I do some really profound work where I work on your subconscious to shift programming and limiting beliefs. But at my premises, there's a lady who does nails, and can I tell you something? She is absolutely busy. She has more clients than me because people all want to do their nails, and she's making really good money. And I don't think she needed a matric certificate for that. But again, what's your talents? You need to know who you are. Your right brain, your left brain. If you're left brain, you're more academically inclined. If you're right brain, you're more creative and you're more of their free-spirited side and you're more of the intuitive side. So find out who you are, find out where your passions lie, and just go with it. Don't define yourself based on where you are right now. Doc, due to time, unfortunately, we're going to have to wrap up here. But thank you so much. We do appreciate you coming on and sharing very valuable information. And we wish you all the best on your presentation now.
Thank you so much. All the best.
Bye for now. And that was Dr. Daphne Mawila, who is a lecturer and educational psychologist at the University